All right, everybody, welcome to the next workshop in our CPAD workshop series. Today's guest host is Tess Dubler, who is an amazing graduate of Penn State College of Arts and Architecture, Art History Department, former intern at the Palmer Museum of Art, and currently she is the Multimedia Digital Asset Manager for the college. And she's going to be talking to you today about 360 video and how amazing it is to use an Oculus headset and a GoPro. And she'll also talk about some of the projects she's done and maybe share some of the work of some of her cohort colleagues. So I'm going to turn it over to Tess. And if anyone has any questions, I'll try to repeat them so that people following along with the recording can also hear it. All right, Tess, it's up to you. Go for it.
Okay, do I unmute on here now? Or
hello, everybody. I'll get started here. So as Stephanie said, am I good now? Oh. Am I good? Hello, hello. Yeah. Okay. So as Stephanie said, I am a digital multimedia and digital assets manager for the College of Arts and Architecture. So that means I do a little bit of everything and anything. When I walk into work, it's always something different. And Stephanie is just giving me all these opportunities to go out and really do whatever. But we've been focusing on 360 video and VR. Our latest project, which premieres tonight at the Bryce Jordan Center, is the Capital Donors Campaign. And it is basically, we shot 360 video all around campus. We were at the Golf Research Lab. We were at Center County Reports in the New Willard. I was in a production studio down in the basement, like a set. It was like a Hollywood set. It was amazing. Yeah, and we edited it all together, and it's going to be playing in the Bryce Jordan Center for the biggest donors. So that was kind of, you know, a big deal, stepping up and doing that. But everything I learned was from Stephanie in her class in the CPAD where we are right now. And it's been pretty fun. And it's like kind of daunting when you hear like 360 video and VR. And I don't have the GoPro cameras, which you shoot because they are currently in the Bryce Jordan Center for tonight. But I actually, can I share my screen? Okay. I actually pulled up a picture of what they look like. Let's see. Unable to connect to Zoom. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So let's see here. How did this close out? So they're called the GoPro Max cameras, and you can get them through, where's it at the Media Commons? You can get them in the library there, and you can actually, they're available
And I think they have
for
some
students.
at the MTSS for people to actually check out what impulses.
Okay. So this is what we shoot 360 video on for our purposes. It is a very small camera. That's what, when she said 360, you think it's going to be like this big piece of technology so that it can capture everything. And it's about that big, I'd say, with two lenses on either side. So it's really compact and it's really simple to use. You download the GoPro Quick app so that it pairs through Bluetooth, and you can control it just off your phone from anywhere in the little diameter that it has. So this is what the camera looks like. Very simple, very easy to use, surprisingly. And then you get that footage and it compresses to a 360 file. And if you have the GoPro Player app downloaded to your laptop, that processes the footage right on there. So you don't have to go into Adobe Premiere if you don't want to. So I actually pulled up one of our videos. This is the one that is premiering tonight. So this was just going right from, oh, actually this one I edited, but this is the raw footage, and you can see it basically looks really good. That's where it's at. And they just had it mounted to the bottom of this airplane. I was not a part of this shoot. This was done before. So this is one of our first cuts for the video that's playing tonight for the Capital Donor Campaign. And you can see, you could scroll around like this, or you can download it to YouTube and put it in the VR headset. So I'll get us recentered here. We all know the Nittany Lion Shrine. We all know.
You have it on a tripod? Or?
Yeah, you can, it comes just the camera, but you can get all the attachments. So you can put it on a tripod, you can put it on a helmet.
Yeah.
So you can do like a walking tour. And there's different like stabilizing tools that you can attach it to. So you're not, and you don't have to stabilize it during the editing process. This was the Golf Research Lab. This was one of my favorite stops. It was really, really neat to see this. So you can see it doesn't automatically pan like that. That was something we did in Premiere because they're not going to be in VR headsets tonight. It's going to be projected just around to the different screens. So we're kind of like controlling their view in a 360 environment.
Tonight, so is it just a section of the BJC, or is it the entire floor and all around? So it's half of the floor, and then
I have not seen it.
three gigantic screens, one of them's 32 feet wide, and then the other two are 6 feet wide. And so they kind of portion it off.
Yeah, so this was the production little set they were doing for a film class. That was really neat. This was another spot I went to, like a industrial engineering lab off campus. They're 3D modeling cement and pouring concrete. And I was like, you get to see a lot of really cool things with this job. I also went to a pig barn and shot 360 in collaboration with the CIE, the Department of Ag Science. And then we have the blue band. This was from 2018, actually. He did not have a stabilizing hat on. So we've had to manually go in and try and stabilize the footage, and it gets a little rocky. But yeah, so this is the video that's playing tonight. And you're viewing that in the GoPro player. So I can actually open up Premiere Pro, which also is an editing software for video, but now you can do 360 and VR video in here as well. And my laptop is going to sound like it's taking off because I am running every program possible kind of right now. So. Okay, we'll just do a new project. So select media. This project already exists. Replace. There we go. So this is what, if you've never used Premiere Pro before, this is what it looks like. When you open, you have your blank canvas in front of you. So I'm actually going to, how can I get this? I thought it was downloaded to, oh, if it's not downloaded on my, Safari quit on me. Okay, there we go. I can drag these in, I think. No, that's on the, I have too many things on right now. Yeah. So we're dragging that into our media browser, and then you can drop it on the timeline. So this is a MP4 file. So this was already exported from 360. I don't have the raw 360 files with me. They are on my hard drive at home. So they are, yeah. So I work on the desktop down in Stephanie's office, and that one doesn't have the GoPro player on it. So I have to take the SD card, the micro SD, export it through the GoPro player program on my laptop, export it to MP4, then put it on the desktop. So I have to go through a lot of steps. So having the GoPro player program really like cuts out that whole process, because exporting these files can take a very, very long time.
Yeah, in a way that sometimes the easiest way to do it is to have to do the renders and then.
Yeah.
So it's basically like a render bar.
Yeah, it's like we have our, yeah, it like goes from each station, basically. So this was the video that I just showed you in the GoPro player. And this is what it's gonna look like when you're editing. So it's it's showing, I don't know how you call this, like it's not in the VR mode, basically. So down here, I actually have the VR video display button. So you click that and it automatically puts you in that view. So if I enable or disable that, it'll put it back to this original video like this. And this is where you can go in and say like, oh, I want to cut out this part. You just grab your razor and you can delete like that. So it just does basic editing functions you can do for VR. The thing that you have to remember when you do it is if you have your video effects, you have to come into immersive video, and they have all of the VR effects and transitions through that. And you can drag those on, do like a little something like that. I don't know what this is. This is a video effect. So it's going to do something. I don't know what I did. VR blur. Yeah. Yeah. So that is really, it's pretty simple. If you are familiar with Premiere, I was not. So it was a little bit of a learning curve. But now, yes, now I am a Premiere Pro. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's say I'm happy with this project and I want to export it. You come to export media, and then there's two little spots you want to make sure if you're exporting in VR. You put it in your format, and the preset, you have to make sure it's in VR, monoscopic, and then there's a few different options you can choose from there. And then you just hit export. So it's pretty simple. Premiere can be pesky, but they made it pretty easy to work and do VR editing. So that is basically all I have to show you about editing. And if you have questions, you can ask me and we can try and do that, or we can get into the headsets and I can show you some examples of projects. So it's kind of up to you, because I didn't come in with a lot of stuff to show you, because I figured this is a workshop. We want to do more hands-on collaborating.
Yeah, can you show them the play the sphere effect?
Oh, yeah.
So where you drop in like to the object, you have like a photo of something that you can drag in maybe, or screenshot something so you can grab it.
Okay, let's look up Penn State logo. And drag that onto my desktop here. And then we'll pull that. Okay, let's bring that back so that we're on. So we're back in Premiere Pro here. So this is basically, I just dragged in a photo file, and you can see it's kind of just resting on top of the Nittany line. But you can come over here, and this is the effect VR plane to sphere, and you'll put that on the photo and it makes it compatible basically in the VR headset atmosphere. So instead of it just being like the small little photo file, it brings it up. Basically, isn't that what it does? It just makes it, yeah, it curves it to fit the VR ratios and all that. And then you can come out of your view and you can move your image around and place it where you want. Oh, I hit the back. But that's basically, yeah, the plane to sphere, you always want to do that if you're putting like an image onto a VR video file.
You want to talk about your video you did with Palmer?
Yeah, I can pull that one up. This was my final project for Stephanie's class last semester. We get into YouTube here. We can also show Wyatt's too if we want, because Wyatt did his differently. He didn't use a GoPro
Yeah.
for his.
Like yours after that too.
Yeah, Wyatt, you can be a part of this workshop.
I didn't know.
Oops, IMAX. So this is the Penn State Immersive Experiences Lab channel here. And it would be, here we go. So this was kind of like my trial run with doing all of this 360 video stuff. And I did mine, as Stephanie said in my introduction, I was an intern at the Palmer Museum of Art for 3 years. So when we had to do a final project, doing 360 video and telling a story or showing an exhibition, I wanted to choose my favorite pieces in the Palmer's collection and kind of reminisce on my time there. So this is what I came up with for my final project.
My virtual tour
And I
of
narrate through
a
it.
few of my favorite pieces in the Palmer's collection that are on display that remind me of my time at Penn State or other moments in my life. The first piece is Boonton Falls, New Jersey by Asher B. Durand, which was made in 1833. This piece is one of the first things you see when you enter the Snowist Gallery. I chose to study art history after taking an American art course my freshman year, and one of the artists we covered in that class was Asher B. Durand. I see this work as a symbol of my freshman year and where my love for art history began. Welcome to the next space in our tour. In this area, I will have 2 paintings that I'm going to be talking about. The first is Forest Scene by William Truss Richards, created in 1868. This piece reminds me of the state park near my house. I grew up in the mountains of the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, and I spent a lot of time in the outdoors, and this work transports me back home. The next piece is Young Woman by Abbott Henderson Thayer, created in 1898. A few years ago at the Palmer's very first Art After Hours Halloween Spectacular, I dressed up as this young woman for my costume. I took a picture by it, but unfortunately I couldn't find that photo to share with everyone. This next work is titled Sunlight and Shadows by Theodore Robinson, which was created in 1896. This piece, I feel, is an iconic member of the Palmer's permanent collection. It has been on display since I was a freshman, which was 4 years ago, and it is a crowd favorite for the Impressionist fans, myself included. We have 1 work left before we head upstairs for the rest of the tour. This piece is titled Peacock Blue and Yellow Seaform Set with Yellow Lip Wraps by Dale Chihuly, which was made in 1995. It is such a beautiful example of a blown glass piece. On a bright sunny day, the sunlight comes through the window and illuminates the piece in a way that makes it seem like it's underwater. This is one of my favorite pieces in the Palmer's collection.
I'll just point out here, you can really see the plane to sphere effect on this image. If it goes back. So you can see it kind of curves, because when you think of 360 video, the camera's set up and it's doing an arch. So that's what the plane to sphere, you can see it curves it just a little bit to make it feel a little bit more natural in a VR environment, I guess. And I can just, do you want me just to stop there? Or do you want everyone, you want to see the whole video? Okay.
Lip Wraps by Dale Chihuly, which was made in 1995. It is such a beautiful example of a blown glass piece. On a bright sunny day, the sunlight comes through the window and illuminates the piece in a way that makes it seem like it's underwater. This is one of my favorite pieces in the Palmer's collection. We have made it to the 2nd floor of the Palmer, and I have 3 pieces left in the tour. The first is Sarah Bernhardt from Rebus by Vic Muniz, that was made in 2010. This is another fun piece. The portrait print is made up of thousands of toys and trinkets that will pull the viewer in and cause you to stare at it for hours. This work symbolizes the playful side of art that I really admire. The next piece is titled Compelled by Jules Olitsky, which was made in 1966. This is another work that has been on display since my first year of school. I love how this large work envelops you in its haze of color. I listened to a lot of music from the 60s, and I feel this work is a great representation of that period. Last but not least, we have Boat Blue Damberg by Bertil Valian. This is a glass sculpture from Sweden. When I was 15, my family traveled to Sweden, and while we were there, we toured the glass factories my ancestors possibly worked at. This little boat reminds me of that trip and my family and all the amazing experiences and memories we created on that trip. And that is my Palmer point of view. Thank you so much for following along. If you enjoyed this, be sure to check out the Palmer Museum of Art in person so that you can experience their entire collection as well and maybe find a few of your own favorites.
Thank you. Yeah, so that was what I came up with for my final project. Should I show yours, Wyatt? Because you did yours completely different, but it's still VR.
Welcome to my...
We don't need to. Yeah, encore. So here was the Swiss style. So this was.
Check out this verse.
Has to have that.
Look at me.
Get that. Yeah. So why do you want to talk about yours? I'll pull you up into the.
Okay, well, I guess I should just introduce myself first. Wasn't really expecting this, but
No, it's okay.
I'm Wyatt. I'm a first year graphic design student. So I kind of wanted to put my little spin on the whole art history class and incorporate some like graphic design. So I chose to do like a particular period of time for what's it called? Graphic design, and I did the style. It's based off a lot of different pieces found in Switzerland. My video is not really like explaining, it's kind of just a display. I made this all in Blender. It's a 3D program. Took a lot of time because I didn't know like anything to do in Blender. So I was looking up a lot of different YouTube videos on how to like do 360 in it. But this was kind of like the final product. I put some like museum-esque background music. So when like you hear it in the what's it called, the headsets, it keeps you immersed. And then I just have like different descriptions of the pieces, of different designers from the time. I'm a little upset with this just because if you can't tell, there's like a small little sliver. And I think that's just because like how it lined up just didn't line up correctly. So,
Yeah, we ran into that problem with the,
Yeah.
the 360 video.
so that's like, if I could go back, that's like the one thing I would
That
fix.
one little line.
But yeah, and then here's just a couple more. But it really took a lot of time just figuring out how to light it properly and then render it out. And originally I wanted to have the text of the actual graphic designers flow onto the what's it called, the bottom, the ground, but I just could not figure out how to warp it in a way that looked realistic, so I just chose to put it behind it. But yeah, this is like one of the best things I've done in a long time. I put a lot of time into this, so I'm kind of grateful that this class allowed me to show this.
Wyatt, you don't have to do this much, seriously.
You don't have to go,
Guys.
it's hard.
I just determined, yeah,
Yeah, because you had to like build your own VR world.
basically,
Yeah.
And now he's really good at that. He is also in the class.
Yeah.
So like. Wyatt, that's what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot
Yeah. So yeah, VR, there's endless possibilities for VR. I'm a fan. Some people, the whole metaverse and having meetings and just your avatars, it gets a little controversial, I guess, but I think the accessibility aspect of VR is really what interests me, and getting to see places that maybe you'll never see. I got a VR headset for Christmas, and I had my 86-year-old grandmother in it, and she was flying over Petra in Jordan, and she was like, "It's amazing, but I feel sick." And then, yeah, so it just that aspect and being able to learn and see new things. That's what I enjoy about VR. So, you think we can get into headsets now? Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, CPA wants a virtual tour of life. What's your next one?
Okay. There we go.
Just heard from them today, so we gotta get you about that.
Okay.
Thank you very much. It was really fascinating.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for stopping in. All right. So this is where people watching on Zoom might not get to have as much fun because,
Carry around like you.
okay. So I actually have 3 headsets if we all want to get into them. One's linked to my account, so I have some games on mine. But yeah, and one's on Stephanie's. So why, I know you've been in one before. Have you ever done? No? Okay. Then I'm really, have you been in? Weird, yeah. So I'm excited to see your reaction because it's completely different.
Yeah, I had one of the ones that you like put your phone in. that's
Yeah, like the
$10
cardboard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yes, this is a lot different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Let
this
you
is,
talk to them.
yeah, so this is an Oculus headset. It is made by Facebook, or now Meta.
Meta,
um,
the metaverse.
i.e. the metaverse. So it has all the adjustments, and then there's actually a speaker, or 2 speakers, I guess. So you get fully immersed, and you get 2 little hand controllers here, which are also like immersive, because I have a game on mine that it's like an escape room kind of thing, and you can like grab stuff, and it's like just by moving your hands like this, there's like sensors in here that it knows how your hand's moving. I don't know like the technology behind it, but it is absolutely mind blowing. So I'll get these all started up here. So I'll come over here, and I'm gonna create the boundaries. Because if you've seen like the videos of like people like running into stuff, with these,
Yeah.
there's like a feature that you can actually like create a boundary. So if you walk out of it, these cameras will turn on so you can see where you're at. To try and avoid, you don't have to set one up, which is like kind of risky. Because it's like you get lost in these things. It's crazy.
I see her put it on in my office. I'm like, there goes
There
Tess
you
into
go.
another
Yeah, Stephanie was in a
dimension.
meeting and I was just like sitting behind with the headset. I was like, I'm in a different world right now. We have to get into the guest Wi-Fi. Yeah. So this is the one on Stephanie's account. So this is basically just like a gaming console that you wear on your head. So you have to like buy all of the games. They have like some free ones like the YouTube. So this one's connected. And there is like a first steps video. But I think I learn best just by jumping into it and kind of figuring it out. So this one, let's see, back to. So if someone wants to step into this one, this one's ready.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, if you want to get into it.
Yeah.
We just have to find your other. I think this is the- Oh, the glasses spacer isn't in it.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see everything, it's not very well.
Yeah.
It'll just be blurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your circle's kind of like
You
right
gotta come over to your
Here.
circle here, there you go.
step into your.
So weird seeing like all the, what's it called? It's like dinosaur area, you know?
Oh, yeah, like, it's like the home screen. Your like home screen's like a home environment, so I'll get this one set up. Make sure. Set one over here, so that there's no.
I got knocked out during the workshops, but it's trying.
Yeah, I punched my one friend accidentally one time. I have they have, of course they have like, you know, like fighting games and
Yeah.
stuff. And I have one and she just walked in front and I was
Knocked out.
turning, I was like, didn't you see me?
Did you see the guy boxing in the workshop? That was hilarious. He was like so close to someone else's face and he was boxing. He couldn't hit him, of course, but it's.
So this one is also set up. This is the one on my account. So I didn't install a lot of my games because of my problem. But if someone wants to step into this one, I have. This one has tilt brush, which is a really fun one. I downloaded that one. So there's a Velcro strap along here if you need to adjust it on your head, and then these bolts make it tighter over here. I'll get your other remote control.
You gonna try that, Polly? You wanna do it?
No, I can't kick for today.
She's done it before. now.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a roller coaster one and that one. That's
Whoa.
Is it like a roller coaster, like?
These are your
Okay.
controllers,
Thank
yeah.
you. Whoa.
And so you kind of point and use your pointer fingers as your like trigger.
Yeah.
You'll see, so you can click on stuff. What do you see right now? Because it's hard, you have to like be really good at communicating the instructions. Because you can cast the video, so you can like other people can watch what you're doing. But you have to have a compatible browser. I'm sure we could set it up in here, but that would take
That would be.
a lot of.
How are you feeling?
I'm good, just, I'm on like some roller coaster.
Did you go into YouTube?
Yeah.
On there? Yeah, YouTube is one of the best ones on the VR. Okay, what do you see?
A Liberty Mutual ad.
Wow.
Now I'm in, at the pyramids.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're fun.
Oh, I hate this.
They're fun for gaming, but they're also like a really good teaching tool.
Why, you're open over there, what's up?
I'm not, they like have me stop, about to go down, and I, oh, no,
And
yeah, I'm good.
there you go.
Yeah, okay.
That's great.
I used to have a friend.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that? See it done? Okay.
I think I heard Dan say one time that this technology is relatively cheap for what you can do with it.
Yeah.
The headsets are around $300, but when you think of like other gaming consoles
Yeah.
and things like that, and like VR technology is just taking off, especially like with COVID and virtual learning and stuff like that. So I definitely think it's, if you can, it's like a good, it's a fun thing to have, but you can also like, you can attend lectures or attend talks and learn through them while gaming too. And it's just, I know there's lots of studies going on, like how virtual learning compares to in class, and people are more productive when they have the headsets on. You can't really escape the universe when you're in it, you know?
For sure. It's good for like people who just kind of want to engage with other people. They're,
Oh, yeah, they have rec room, is
Yeah.
one, you can go in and talk to people from all over the world and see your avatars and.
Also, you don't see faces.
No, you see the person's, meta avatar, yeah. And you can create your own, and they have tons of options. It's kind of like your, like the emojis.
Oh,
It's kind of like that, or like the new emojis from Apple. You can like create your own whole person.
Currently skydiving on a hot air balloon.
Oh, wow.
Crazy. It's weird though, because you like, I don't know, there's like 500 feet below me.
But you're standing.
Yeah, but
it's weird.
I'm just in this
Yeah,
spot.
it's a
That's
weird,
crazy.
it can get really disorienting.
Yeah,
And those are like the bloopers that you see. People are like, "That's so funny."
yeah.
Yeah, they have a rock climbing one from Oculus. And I've tried that one, and it's pretty scary, because if you don't grip, because you have to grip with the controllers, and you have to hold down, and if you slip, you fall, and if you don't have like a harness on, and it just, yeah, it's a.
Yeah.
And so some people do get really motion sick when they're wearing them, but there are ways that you can kind of deal with it. If you start like moving your feet in place and like walking in place, it'll kind of make your ears give it some equilibrium and make it think that you're moving. So like
Yeah.
there are certain ways that you can kind of get more used to it. Another thing is you can build up a threshold, right? So like at first you may be in it for like 10 minutes, but then after that you can kind of like maybe the next time it be 12 minutes or 15. And so like some people have to build up like.
Yeah, and when you set up the Oculus headset, they go through like how to become accustomed to that, basically, and they have like the first steps app on it that you can go through, and they kind of help you with it, but yeah, it's definitely just like getting in it and figuring out what you can handle. I wouldn't stick someone like that go like this here. App, like, first time. You can also sit and use it too.
Yeah.
Which is good to start, but.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, if you want to come over to Creamery, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9, Wyatt's gonna be there, Tess is gonna be there. So like, the Shields building has like a whole area down in the basement called Creamery, and you can go in there and like check out what they're doing. But like, 9 to 10, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're presenting the final projects. And so students are gonna be like doing what Tess basically did with hers, but it's like a class of like 22 students in the course of 3 days. So, yeah. But now you know about it, and you're welcome to like come down. Tess brings hers in sometimes too, so like.
Yeah, I have all the, I'm sure, did you see like the apps? When you
Yeah,
went
I didn't
in?
know to get back to.
There, okay, so there's like this button right here,
figure
it's
that
the
out either.
Oculus button.
How to get back to,
So are you just like still in YouTube?
Yeah.
On
Oh.
here? Do you want to like try something else?
I suppose.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, yeah, we have lots of time.
Yeah.
So when you.
Yeah, keep
Yeah.
playing.
I was just checking out
So
the
you need
Sagrada
to-
Familia.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I want to go there so bad.
Yeah, I have a student.
So
going,
if
one of
you
those-
have your controllers in your hands,
Yeah.
can you like see like the animated
And then
controller?
Yeah.
So this button where your right thumb is,
Yeah.
yeah, if
this
you
one.
hit it, that's called the Oculus button, and there should be a window that pops up that says
Uh-huh.
resume, quit,
Yeah.
so you can just quit, that's how you get back. Should take you back to that, app screen.
You click with this button.
With your pointer finger on the front trigger.
Okay.
So are you back at
We'll
the?
stop the
Yeah,
recording,
I'm
but
back
you
at
can
the-
send what we're doing here, and then.
Yeah,
if you
so
ever
I
want,
downloaded on this
the
one,
Center
there's
for
Tilt
Immersive
Brush.
Experiences is also a great place to go, or you can contact one of us.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Well, that one's
Look
down.
up with someone from, Penn State
Like,
Music Company,
18 and 360 in VR, so
working
you
with
can.
us on all of our projects. So I hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, worth a try. Take care. Thanks, Tess, for teaching.
Yeah,